So I suppose I probably should talk about this then. Alright, what is good guys, it's me, Ollie, back again with another video on the Project Race Car YouTube channel. Now, as you probably would have guessed, today's video is going to be about my 1998 Evo 5. So, where do I start? Oh my god. So, I bought this car probably about 2.5 years ago now, and she was more or less perfect. She had a couple of things that needed to be done just to make her into a minter, and I completely blew that out of proportion, and that's how it ended up like this. And she's more or less been sat like this for about 2 years now. I did 2 car shows in it when I first bought her, but it's funny how when you're building cars and you've got a vision for something, how quickly it can spiral out of control, and also when you're an apprentice who's going to be qualified very shortly, trying to build something like this on apprentice wage is pretty tough. So that's another reason and another factor why she's sat here for so long. But when she will be done is whenever she's done, and I'm hoping she's going to be what I want her to be. So yeah, this is not going to be like a cinematic video. This is going to be a very vloggy style video, but if you're interested in that, grab a drink, grab a snack, grab whatever you want to grab, and enjoy the video. So we'll start off with the engine bay then. So what I did was, I've always wanted to do a smooth sort of bay, and these aren't typically that smooth from factory. They're a clean enough engine bay, but they're not, it was nowhere near what I wanted it to be. So I ended up stripping it all back, stripping all the paint back, seam welding along a couple of the edges, seam welding along the top, and a few other little edges down here, and also seam welding the joins, and also clearing it in all over, smoothing it in. And then I got busy with a piece of sandpaper and some body filler. So there's a little bit of body filler. This part here took the most time. It's only moderately smoothed, so it's only a little bit here and there, but that's what I wanted to do to achieve the desired effect that I wanted from it. So as you can see, it does, if you compare it to a normal Evo 5 or 6 engine bay, it does look significantly smoother and more what I wanted from it, if that makes sense. I didn't want to go full overboard because obviously of the type of car that it is, but this is just what I wanted to do because I've always wanted to do it. And to be fair, a lot of people are going to hate on me for this, but she's more or less going to be a show pony. I don't think she's going to see many track days, just because she's going to be my baby. She's going to be the car that I spend all the money on to get her perfect, and I don't want to go sticking it into a wall on some racetrack somewhere. But she probably will end up going to the Nürburgring and stuff, because she's that type of car that I want to take over there and have photos with, etc, etc, etc. So yeah, I just did a bit of basic smoothing just to make the engine bay look better. This has all been smoothed around here, smoothed up around the edges, and just all tidied and all blended in. I will say that I am by no means a body worker, somebody that does body work. I am a mechanic by trade, and I don't have the patience for body work, so this is how it sort of turned out. And I did paint it all myself. I did the whole lot myself, primed it, did everything myself. It's not a body shop quality finish, but it's good enough to the point where when you put everything back in, you're not really going to notice any of the spots. Obviously of course, because I did it, I know where all the dodgy spots are, but thankfully there isn't that many dodgy spots. So yeah, I think, from my opinion, I think the engine bay in this car looks way better than it did, which is why I did it. So I achieved the goal that I set out to achieve. And I've also had the subframe, I've done the subframe all up, and I've painted all of that. I'll just get a torch in there so that you can see it. It's all in my purple colour, and I wanted to do this because I've always wanted to do a colour scheme with purple, and I hope that I've picked the right colour, and I hope that it should work nicely with the white paint. I'm pretty sure it will. It's a nice metal flake purple. Yeah, so the rest of the car then, she sits on HSD Mono Pros. Those are the coilovers. The front two are off at the moment because obviously I'm going to powder coat the springs. The springs are sat up there. There's a whole box under this box that's got all of the stuff that I need to powder coat in there, and she's on genuine C28 ends, which you can't really see very well because it's quite dark in here at the moment. Maybe I'll bump the ISO up a minute. But yeah, she's on genuine CEs. Perfect. Personally, my favourite wheel on the Evo. For those of you that are wondering about specs, they are 17x9 ET23, and they've got Dunlop SP Maxes, which are 245 40 17s, and just a little rep for the Project race car there. So yeah, I had to pick up the OEM style wind deflectors that I actually found on Facebook that somebody was willing to sell me for a reasonable price, because these sell for silly money because they are an OEM part, but that's okay because I've got to have them because I think they massively improve the look. If you think these are different, that's because they are. When they're factory, if they're left out in the sun, they go a horrible burnt red colour, so I have actually painted these in satin black because I didn't want the horrible burnt red colour. Easy job to do, just get some plastic primer, paint them up, and away you go. So let's get on to the actual business then. So as you can see, that's my engine block and my head all wrapped up. The engine block has been, I took it down to the machine shop and they measured all the clearances, and the bores were out, and also the crank, which is wrapped up there, was also out and needs a regrind. And everybody that's had Evos will know that if you regrind the crank, you lose all the strength in them. So I'm just going to buy a new crank, rather a lot of money. But the head has been sent away to a mate of mine who's done a full port and polish job. It's not anything serious, it's just a stage one, just to remove the horrible casting marks in the head. I will say that Mitsubishi did a really rubbish job of casting these heads. The casting marks were just horrendous, particularly on this one, and also the oil drain back holes through the head that run back to the sump were pretty horrendous as well, so he cleaned those out for me. Thank you very much, Dan. And then the block, like I said, has been to the machine shop. That was out, so that's now been rebored to suit 85.5mm oversized Wiseco 1400 HD pistons, which are under there, as you can see. And there's also Bridgeway H-Beams, which are suited to 600 horsepower, and ACL race bearings and a few other parts down there, along with a RTS clutch kit and stuff, and also my two coilovers without the springs. So yeah, she will be going fully forged with a standard OEM crank, and also I've got a set of Kelford 272 cams sat in the car waiting to go in the head, along with new lifters, valves, valve springs and retainers, all from Manley, and also a Kiggly Racing HLA to go in the head to limit the oil pressure. So I've also had the sump extended and capacity changed, so it holds way more oil now, and I've also had it modified with a larger pickup. It's very dark over here. A larger pickup, and also trapdoors, as you can see inside. So hopefully that should do the job. I think that's personally the next best thing to a dry sump, and it should hold about 6 litres of oil. So that should be plenty. So when I've finished with the engine stuff, I will be turning my attention towards cosmetics, and there's not really that much that I want to do to this car in terms of cosmetic changes because it already looks freaking fantastic. But one of the things I do want to do is a carbon fibre spoiler blade, or just paint that one black. Another thing I'd like to do is have the vortex fins along the roof, rear splats but I'm kind of looking at the Varis rear diffuser kit that you can get for this that looks really good in my opinion. Side skirt extensions, which I'm going to DIY make myself because I've done it to a few cars before, including my own daily driver, and they look really good. And a front splitter, and maybe canards. I'm not sure on the canards just yet, but that's pretty much it in terms of external changes that I want to make to the car. When she comes back on the road, she will be sitting about another inch lower, because I do want her a little bit lower, and I also want some maybe some 10mm spaces for the back, just to bring the wheel and tyre out just to the point where it's completely flush with the arch, just because I'm a kind of fitment boy. I'm not keen on stance, but not like slammed stance. I want like a rally stance, because yeah, like rally / time attack stance. So as for the interior then, I've got a big work light in here just just to make it light so that you can actually see. Stock Recaro seats. Personally, I think they are the most comfortable seats that I've tried ever in any car. If I could put these in every car that I owned, I definitely would. So this car came with a horrible OMP knockoff steering wheel. So I know this isn't like, it's not a Nardi or anything. I'd love a Nardi eventually, but for now this is much better than the wheel that was in it, and it's much better considering it comes out further for my long arms because I am 6'3", so I sit generally quite far away from the pedals. I have painted all of these bits white. I personally think it adds a bit more detail to the interior. You guys may not like it, I do. I got oil temp, and boost gauge. They're not sat quite properly because it's not installed properly yet, but I love the way that the pods are sat there. The gauges are sat there. It just makes the whole install a lot cleaner. So we got parts in the other seat there. The dash is all apart because I'm in the middle of doing some different bits in here. Need to change the stereo in the center, but yeah, more or less a stock Evo interior. I have got my sunstrip on there with a few personal stickers, including a Blitz one because it has got a Blitz boost gauge and stuff like that. So yeah, I've got a Blitz turbo timer in the little pocket, and we've also got a Blitz boost controller over there. Lovely rally art gear knob, adds a nice little bit of detail to the interior of the car. Like I said, Kelford 272 cams, new rocker cover, that's all smoothed and has been modified to take the AN10 fittings. There's also a couple of cam gears over there, ARP head studs, and a few other things all scattered on the seat there. And then the whole back of the car is full of parts. And then arguably, last but not least, one of my favourite views of this car. It's just got such a fat arse. And I just love the look of them. I just think they are a timeless design. I don't know, I don't really want to waffle, but I just think they look amazing. So I just want to get her back on the road. So yeah, that's my 5. Sorry if the video seemed a little bit vloggy. I kind of wanted to do it in a vloggy style take because there's just not much really that I can do B-roll of, if that makes sense. So I will of course leave a full list down in the description of my engine parts and a few other parts that the car's got, and a little bit more history about the car that you can read up about as well. But yeah, hopefully she'll be nearing completion soon. So I'd like to thank you for watching this video, guys. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, hit the bell and stay tuned to the videos that we're going to be pumping out on this channel. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. So I'll catch you in the next one.